The postseason continues for girls hockey here on North Metro TV. We're into the semifinals where the second-seeded Bengals host the third-seeded Centennial Cougars. John Hedden and J.W. Cox, along with our entire North Metro TV crew, glad to be with you as these two squads match up for the third time this season. Teams split the season series by winning on the road. So is home ice advantage what the Bengals were hoping for? We'll see over the next three periods. As they announce the starters here, let's talk about two players in particular who have done stellar work for these teams. For the Centennial Cougars, their top scorer, Megan Goudreau, 23 goals, 16 assists. She's a key player on the power play, the team's leading scorer, JW, and a joy to watch all season long.
Yeah, you have to know as an opponent where Megan Goudreau is on the ice at all times. She could find a way to finish and affect the game that way. And I also like how she's a crafty distributor when she gets in tight around the cage.
On the other side, the Blaine Bengals, well, they win on defense, so we're going with defense. Their senior Peyton Parent, a player that we've watched plenty of throughout the course of her career, and this could be the final game if that defense can't play at the level that it has played previously this season.
But you said it, she's a huge part of why they've been able to play at that high level. Her experience level plays into what this Bengal team can do. They play a style of hockey where you have to be heady about it, and when you have a player who's played as many games as Peyton Parent has at the top, leading from the front, you can get that done. Maybe you're not going to outskate everybody that you've played this year, but you can find a way to out-defend them. And just like they did in that last matchup against Centennial, you can find a way to get a couple of muddy goals in. That defense can be enough to get you a win.
Only 4 seniors on the roster for the Bengals, 2 of them defenders, the other one, Annika Hendrickson. And so again, Blaine's defense is not just the defenders, it's not just the goaltender, it's an entire unit, and they're going to try and get things done against the Centennial Cougars tonight. We'll pause for the anthem and then return momentarily here on North Metro TV. Big-time matchup tonight. The Cat Clash returns for a postseason version. The Cougars with the 14-5 record, the Bengals with the 11-7 record entering tonight's matchup. And it feels like we just did this, and we got a good one. We'll look for that again here tonight. The last time they took the ice, Blaine getting the victory 3-1. Even though they were outshot 35-24, Jansen led the way with 2 goals. The previous meeting this season, Centennial winning 2-0. Much lower scoring game, but that's the kind of game that Blaine wants. Yet it was Centennial that got goals from Francis and Parr to lift them to the shutout victory.
Yeah, of all the Cat Clashes we do, it's hard to pick a favorite, but this would be right up there in the running with this girls hockey matchup between Centennial and Blaine. A lot of that, the history between these two squads with the great players that they've had simultaneously and so many times coming head-to-head here in this section, even more so in recent past than the boys have always done at the top levels of section. So this one is always fun, and there's some great players picking up that mantle too in net that we'll talk about. But I'm looking for this Cougar offense. If they can get off to a quick start, that can tilt things in their favor real fast and put a crimp in that defensive style of the Bengals.
Last meeting in sections was the 2018 championship, that is. Centennial won it 3-0. They went on to be the state runner-ups that year. The Bengals went to state the year prior. But if you're Centennial, you've won that 2018 matchup. You won back in 2016. You have to go back to 2015 for the last time that Blaine beat Centennial in the section tournament. They've matched up a surprisingly limited number of times, I would say, considering how good they've both been. It's these two and Maple Grove year in and year out in this conference and this section. Here a shot, that one tips off the glove of Gress and goes into the near side corner. Cougars in red skating right to left here in the opening period, left to right in the whites and two-tone blues for Blaine. Bengals backhand one towards the goal. Reaching out to grab that one was Gress. Take a look at the bracket. Maple Grove already waiting in the wings. They won 3-2 earlier this evening. the #1 seed, stands tall. And who will face them on Saturday? Blaine should be the fresher team, getting the bye in the opening round. It worked for Maple Grove, certainly, at the top of the bracket.
Tight game, though, with Rogers there. Maybe tighter than you might expect in the 1-4 matchup. Speaks to both Rogers and the strength of this section.
Agreed. Centennial had to spend their Tuesday beating Anoka Spring Lake Park. They did so fairly handily, but maybe not as much as you might have expected. Maybe that's part of the playoff magic that goes on. And we saw that earlier tonight. Osseo playing 2+ periods in boys hockey against Blaine in a way that maybe was unexpected based on the records and based on the previous meetings for those two teams. But Blaine got it done. They won their 30th consecutive game over Osseo in boys hockey.
You look at that game back on Tuesday, it was a very fast start for Centennial, and I said maybe if they get off to a fast start, they can tilt this in their favor. But if that happens, it will still be the question of then how do they finish, because they played pretty much even the rest of the way against Anoka Spring Lake Park in that Tuesday game after spotting themselves the big lead. It's going to be A, tough to build a big lead against the Bengals, B, tough to just salt it away they did in 2 periods on Tuesday.
Shot deflected wide. Bengals getting great pressure in the early goings. Remember, the Bengals are the defensive team, and they are owning the puck in the Centennial zone to start this game. They want to get a lead and hold it, not necessarily score in a flurry. These Bengals are averaging just under 2 goals per game. Not the kind of scoring you would expect from a team that's 11-7 this season.
Unless I missed something, that puck was still in the zone when the Bengals started that change, which, I mean, if you want to see a defensive team at work, that might be lesson #1. They're going to get fresh skaters out there, even though they still have potential to hold on to that zone. We got a penalty coming up on Blaine.
Yeah, hooking call, so an early power play opportunity. As going to the box for the Blaine Bengals is Brooke Nowicki. 10 penalty minutes entering the game. You see her come on, and they'll call that a hook. Not that it wasn't a penalty, but you could have gone with a couple of different thoughts there.
And that's a player in Lauren O'Hara who's going to put a lot of people in that spot to maybe commit a penalty. That's a nice move that she made, just to dangle a round 1 defender and put him in a bad spot. Centennial
17.5% on the power play. They are 8 of 46 this season. The Bengals 85% on the penalty kill. They've allowed just 8 goals on 54 opponent opportunities. Cougars leave it to the point. Now to Goudreau. Goudreau can't get a shot off. She shovels it forward. Francis turns and fires. That one flutters wide. Puck out towards the top. Slowed down. A lot of room to work with for Centennial. Bengal defense starts to collapse on that. They're able to hold for the time being. Thompson sends it inside. This puck down to the near board, scooped up by Macy Jansen. She tries to move up ice. Remember, she had 2 goals in the recent win for the Bengals.
Solid to step up that pressure a little bit. As you mentioned, they initially gave them some space, and then the Bengals locked in.
Halfway done with the power play, Goudreau tries to bring it in. Looked like she was trying to hand off to Francis, but that would have created an offside situation. They back out and reset. O'Hara sends it in, but now she'll come off. The top scoring unit for the power play is done. This puck launched towards the blue line. O'Hearn can't pitch it against the boards. New Power chasing back on it and collects behind her own net. New Power shoveling it forward. The intended target not looking for the puck, and it's disrupted by Blaine. Good aggressive play there by Shelby Sandberg. Puck check forward. O'Hearn gives chase. Centennial giving space for Ella O'Hearn. She'll leave it back for Olivia Blashen. Blashen to the middle. This one turn, quick fire, backhand on a rebound try. Goal! Centennial gets it done thanks to Ella O'Hearn. The sophomore gets her 8th of the season. It was right there in front, and it just seemed like a matter of time with all the chances that Centennial got. Nothing was super clean and strong, but they eventually pushed the puck past Blaine's starting goaltender, Haley Hansen.
That did enough. That wasn't a power play that you'd look at and say, this is how we want to execute it. But enough for O'Hearn, and yeah, she did. Just that second touch from backhand with a golden chance to just get something on the puck with the forehand, and it trickles through.
Puck's on net. Didn't need to be a strong shot. It was enough. Here, a quick shot from Blaine as they look to equalize early on in this first period. Nothing comes of that attempt. Centennial able to clear it out of the zone. This has icing written all over it. 12:40 remaining on the clock. And it's a Centennial lead. Outstanding work for the Cougars to jump out in front.
And I was honestly ready, John, if that penalty had expired without a score, I was ready to say, hey, the Bengals, they get to dominate this first 4 minutes. They go on the power play, or they go on the penalty kill, and the first chance is really the only chance for the Cougars. They were able to muddy that up. They had that possession time you were talking about, and then the bounce goes the way of the Cougars and puts all that to bed. And the Bengals are on their heels with the rush coming from that top line.
Cougars are going to push for every single goal they can get after what happened in the last meeting. Goudreau takes the shot. That one travels over traffic and hits the back wall.
The Cougars just seemed a little out of sorts, too, before that goal. And we'll see if finding the back of the net sharpens things up here for Centennial.
They gave the assist to Ellie Newpower, the freshman's second assist of the year, and Morgan O'Hearn, the senior, getting her third assist. So that is a goal from a line that you would not have expected. Yes, you know, they had the opportunity to have an extra skater out there, but that is not the unit that usually produces. They get something there. Big news for the Cougars early on.
Yeah, what did we see in the game that just was completed? We gave the Bengals on the boys' side credit for their depth helping win that game. Well, if you manufacture some depth that even comes away with scoring, if you're the Cougars, that's going to help against this defensive Bengal team.
Puck pushed into the offensive zone by Nikki Hammond. Bengals trying to work it back out. Play it forward into neutral ice. Controlling here is Peyton Parent. Passes across, that one taken by Brielle Fussy, and we get a whistle and a penalty for interference. First penalty against Centennial puts Hammond in the cooler. He had 10 penalty minutes coming into the game. Now we get a look at Blaine's power play. For the Bengals this season, 10%. 5 goals on 51 tries. The Centennial Cougars, 92% on the penalty kill. That is a very strong number. They don't also have a lot of penalties. You know, less than 100 minutes as a team coming in. So they've been a disciplined squad in that regard.
They can be dangerous too, sorry John, with the shorthanded chance, just with the skaters they put out there on the kill, like Goudreau, like O'Hara. All they need is a little bit of space.
Well, they're looking for it, right? Goudreau and O'Hara both have shorthanded goals this season. In fact, Goudreau has 2 of them. Puck moved down to the near side as Blaine tries to set up in the offensive zone. 1:22 remaining on the power play as they whip it behind the boards. Tight interior passing. Carry it along the half wall. Puck taken away, and O'Hara has it clean. She moves into neutral and flips the puck ahead, gives chase herself. So Centennial able to change a couple of skaters with O'Hara's play. Bengals finally come in on the charge. Jansen towards the net, takes the shot. Save made, pops up off the stick and pads, and then is scooped out of the air by Caitlin Gress. The freshman, 11-5 with a 2.56 goals against average this season. .915 save percentage. She has 5 shutouts this year. I think of Centennial as an offense-first team. Sometimes that'll put the puck on the other end of the ice for a good portion. 5 shutouts is a great number.
Yeah, that latest coming in the postseason as well to get number 5. And we lauded their defense a little bit in their wins. They've done it by, popping a lot of goals, but also holding teams down for the better part of 3 periods.
38 seconds left on the Blaine power play as this puck cleared back to the Bengals zone. Tracking back out for the Bengals was Grace Bouch. Feed forward, finds Bouch. She breaks the blue line along the near side. Takes the early shot. Puck sits right on the doorstep after the pad save by Gress, and then is pulled out of there. Puck slides back out in front of the benches. That's neutral ice. Bengals bring it up ahead once more. On the attack, Puck left back. Now a big slap shot on the trailer. Huge rebound, and unable to close the gap was Cameron Singh that time. penalty is done. We skate 5-on-5. Centennial leading 1-0 with 9.5 to play in the first.
That's a little sharper on the rebound. Singh is floating right in there with some open net. That's an excellent power play for Gresh. She made some big-time tough saves with traffic.
New Power pushing this puck up ice. A bouncing puck into the zone. Scooped up by Centennial. Abby Elliott gives forward. Nice pass. Here's Callie Cody. Cody coming off a hot game. Gives it ahead. Pass across. Maybe that was a shot. It was good enough to be one. Just missed wide. O'Hara from behind the net. Hanging on. Leaves it out to the blue line. Wrister from there towards the player in front, Cody. Instead, it's intercepted and taken the other direction. Nicely played that time by Jansen.
They didn't find Cody in front of the net again, but we need to talk about that first attempt. She had an assist. That was a nifty, nifty pass that gave O'Hara the chance.
Puck down to the near side. Hammond has her pocket picked. Bengals trying to push forward. Puck knocked away. Good pressure from Centennial.
That was Summer Francis, and that's what she does, right? On that forecheck as a forward, she's always hunting the puck.
Puck's going to roll to the other end. They're going to wave off icing. Back on it for Centennial is Torma. Grace Torma's pass ahead. Touched for the moment by Lauren Parr. Now taken in by Francis. Francis tried to hand it back. Usually she's all about taking that shot. Tried to play team hockey, and the pass was off the mark. Played behind the net here to Caitlin Ron. Our favorite captain. Now this pass intercepted. Bouncing puck ends up in the corner. Cougars, Morgan O'Hearn trying to leave it back. She's got an assist tonight. Bengals trying to clear the zone. Give some breathing room to Hansen. Sent right back in behind the goaltender. Taken away. O'Hearn towards the net. Tries the shot. That one stopped before it started. Now a shot from the half wall. Taken away by Blaine. They'll work it out to neutral ice. Back on it is Hammer. Played forward. Jansen, first player there for the Bengals. Jansen is really working out there tonight in the early going. She comes up with the puck once more. D-to-D pass finds Ron behind the net, trying to play it forward. Now Thompson takes a shot from the wall. Save made by Hansen once more. 7 minutes to go in this opening period. Power play chances each way. One has paid dividends. Cougars lead 1-0. Here an icing call. We had the early goal scored on her, but we haven't focused on Hansen to this point. As you'll take a look at what Bengal can do offensively. The big chance, and it's the rebound on the other side, just out of the reach of Singh. And then a Centennial rush against Hansen, and that one goes just wide. Hansen's been a solid goaltender this year. 11-7 record, 2.54 goals against average, and a .934 save percentage. She and her team are in a hole early on. Centennial continues to put that pressure on. The forecheck work that they've done in this opening period has really impressed.
And they hit another gear after that, so they've been a little cleaner with the puck, but also the pressure to get it in front of Hansen. If you want good goaltending over the next few years, you can circle these two matchups, because Hansen checking in along with Gress on the other side, both at the very start of their careers. And this is going to be fun to watch these two goaltenders develop over the years.
Back on it for the Bengals is Sandberg. Whips it ahead. Carried into the offensive zone by Fussy. Brielle Fussy dumps it behind the net. Parent trying to collapse on that puck near side. And pushed out of there by Goudreau. Her pass across, intercepted. She was looking for Cody. Bengals moving it forward. This one played for a moment by Klassen, and it's dumped back in by Blaine. Francis gains clean control. Head up, pass for Hammond. She'll play it off the near side boards to push it into the offensive zone. Trying to track it down there is Parr. Lauren Parr taken down to a knee. This puck slides over to the far side for the Bengals. Maddie Anderley on it. She's then dumped down to the ice. Hard defensive play there by Nikki Hammond, trying to force the puck away. Cougars hold the zone somehow. Francis shovels it off in tight spaces, and it's taken away. From between the circles, skating the other direction is Jansen. She'll break the blue line, has help ahead, sends a shot on. Good glove save there. If Gress doesn't glove that, it's a fat rebound waiting for the Bengals.
Yeah, it was Singh again who was flying in there, so she knows what she's about as the secondary attacking player. But Gress makes the right move as the glove finishes off any potential rebound, which is really where the Bengals have had their best chances in this game. This one's all about this Cougar forecheck, though. I mean, they are owning that and keeping the puck away from the Bengals more often than not. They're the aggressor here in the first 12 minutes.
Here's Ella O'Hearn. She's breaking up ice. One defender behind her. O'Hearn can't get the dangle to finish the play. We've got a delayed penalty coming up against Centennial.
The net's off, too.
Goaltender comes to the bench. Centennial didn't look like they had good control, but neither did Blaine. So it took a while to get that whistle. Now we will get a skater advantage for the Cougars. It's worked before. Who's sitting down? Guilty party on the high stick is Maddie Anderley. Anderley, she took down the player in front, if you saw there. Here's O'Hearn coming in.
Never could lift it. Just enough on the defense
Another
there
look
from Jansen.
Yeah, right in the middle. If you're not watching the puck, that's where the Anderley penalty came. Cougars set it up. This is Thompson from the top of the slot. She'll slide it in soft. Got a deflection in front from Francis, but it pushes it wide. Here, a hard shot. That one knocked down and knocked away. Nicely done by the defense on the Abby Elliott track. Goudreau into the offensive zone. Has O'Hara behind her. Hands it off. Back to Goudreau. To Thompson from the top of the slot. Gives over to Elliott. Down into O'Hara from the circle. Her pass whiffed on it, and it's stolen by Blaine. Bengals can't work it out of the zone. O'Hara now on the attack. Has Francis ahead. Backhands towards the goal. Francis on the other side. Can't connect. Back out to the blue line for Thompson. They reset. 1:15 on the power play. Cougars send a shot towards the net. Ends up in the corner. O'Hara will pick it up. Feeds Elliott at the blue line. She'll take a shot. Soft one. Stopped by a skate in front. Tipped into the corner. O'Hara tracks it down. Back to Elliott. Elliott sends it to the circle far side. Bouncing puck over Goudreau's stick. Now she settles it down. Has the blade on it clean. And starts her attack. Met by two defenders. She'll poke it towards the net. Bouncing puck ends up loose. Quick shots at it. No one can get it in to Hansen. Now this shot off a skate. Bounces wide. O'Hara going to deke out the one defender. Gets around her. Heads towards the net. Sends a pass across. Goal! Francis in front on a beautiful feed from O'Hara.
They kept trying again with that feed. O'Hara dragging to the goal line, trying to flip it back to Francis. A lot of confidence that they could get that connection done, and finally it happened. Good work by O'Hara. This time, the clean feed and the connects from Francis. Power play goal.
You see O'Hara beat one defender. That forces someone to come in and collapse on her, and it leaves Francis completely alone underneath. The post player's dream in the lane right there, and great job by Francis to get her 8th goal of the season, her 2nd power play goal this year, and on the assist, O'Hara, her 18th to lead her team.
That was at least the 3rd time they tried to get that on the power play, just working with those two exact skaters. And we talked about it on Tuesday. You can see the chemistry with these players on the Centennial Cougar team, that they've played together. They have the expectation that their teammate is going to be right where they hope and right where they think. And they have that confidence going to keep trying at it. And eventually able to knock home a 2nd goal. And think going so far so good. The way the Bengals can muddy things up here over the final 2 periods, we're a long way from done, but this is exactly how the Cougars wanted to come out.
There was no 2nd assist on the play, so the lone helper to O'Hara on the Francis power play goal. 2-0 Cougars, under 3 to play in the 1st. Centennial on that far wall, battling Blaine. The Bengals come up with it, send it down to the near side. Into the offensive zone comes Singh. Singh leaves it back. This puck taken away by the Cougars. Might have had an outlet opportunity. Instead, it's knocked away. Ella O'Hearn back in her own corner. Singh is a player that doesn't have a lot of speed, but just seems to be in the right place. Good, smart player. She feeds it off here, and a pass, or rather a shot, goes wide on the try by Grace Bouch.
An excellent settling job by Bouch to get that puck on her stick to even try that shot.
Puck dumped into the zone by the Bengals, who go off on a change.
But we have seen that now for Singh twice on some of those breaks. She's been the rebound option. The puck hasn't bounced that way, but if she keeps that up, being in the right spot could pay dividends.
Cougars trying to take that puck away in the offensive zone. Francis chops at it to force it to the back wall. Down around the near side, New Power putting pressure on, but it does trickle out to neutral. Francis will get back on it. Tries to play it ahead, stolen away by Blaine, and here come the Bengals. Down towards the near side, shot from near the wall, and that one saved. The try by Brielle Fussy, trying to generate a rebound, and that has been something that Gress has not allowed a lot of here in the first period.
Yeah, a couple early, and it's almost like she learned the lesson. She said, okay, that's a way that this team is going to try to beat me. I'd rather square up with my 5 defenders in front off a face-off, even in the zone here, than have to try and stop that rebound.
Off the face-off win, Goudreau bursts into the offensive zone. She dumps it ahead for herself, gives chase, has Cody with her. Goudreau recovers, plays it out to the blue line. Elliott with a wrister from there, stopped by traffic in front. Goudreau picks it up, can't get a shot away. And that one knocked out of there. Nicely done by Brielle Fussy. Ahead to O'Hara, she'll push into the offensive zone, pushed right back out by the defense. Now Goudreau dumps to the back wall. 1:12 remaining in this opening period. Jansen tried to send it ahead, instead sent it out. Face-off will come inside the Blaine zone to the stick side of Hansen with 1:08 to go in the first. So we know Maple Grove is waiting. We know the Crimson are waiting. We're not sure if Leafy will be there to face off against one of these two teams in the section championship.
Wouldn't that be a shame?
I don't know that I've seen Leafy at a girls section championship. We've seen him at the boys section championship.
And we've seen him at girls soccer outdoors in the fall.
I love that. Freshly fallen, Leafy.
Correct.
Under a minute to play as we get a whistle here onto the icing. It's coming back into the Centennial zone. Stick side of Gress. Bounce against O'Hara on this draw. One back by the Bengals. Jansen, a wrister, gets through everyone, but is wide of the net. Picked up along the wall, the shovel to the middle by Ron, who's taken away by Centennial. This shot goes wide. Ron again, chipping it forward. Bengals looking to get something on the board as they trail 2-0 in the waning moments of this first period. Spinning around with control is Anderley. Try to hand it off to Singh. Thompson sends it forward. She gets upended. But here goes Goudreau. Goudreau trying to curve around the defender. Nicely done that time by Ron back to force Goudreau away, and now she takes the puck from her.
It's almost like you don't want to try and pick the pocket of Goudreau because she's too nifty, but if you can start to wall her away from the puck and just be a little physical within the bounds of the game, you might be able to hamper her a little bit better.
Centennial gets the jump on Blaine in the opening period. They score 2 goals on the power play and take this 2-0 lead into the first intermission. We'll take the break as well and come back for more here on North Metro TV. Centennial with the lead over the Bengals. Great start for the Cougars. And they took advantage of the power play. Look early on, shot to the front. O'Hearn tried the backhander. That didn't work, but she gets a little tap just before it gets out of her reach. It's enough to put it in the back of the net. That goal coming about 5 minutes in. Bengal had some chances, but Blaine couldn't capitalize on some of these big shots or big rebounds that came off of them. And in the end, O'Hara walking it in, finds a wide open Francis. She's clamoring for the puck, just slapping that stick down on the ice on the other side of the crease. And she finishes the job with another power play goal. 2-0 Centennial at that point, and they would hold that lead into the break. It's where we start the second. John Haddon, J.W. Cox back with you.
Yeah, the three things I'm looking at there, I mean, we talked about it all period long. The forecheck for the Cougars was relentless, so no surprise they got some opportunities, and they didn't miss on their power play opportunities. And then on the defensive side, at the back end of that defense, we talked about it, Caitlin Gress, she learned that some of those big rebound chances might be the way to success for Blaine and started cutting those off. We'll see if that continues and how else the Bengals can try to adjust that offensive attack and generate some of those opportunities. Big second period both ways. Obviously, the Bengals need to do something to get back into it here. But after what we saw on Tuesday, I'm curious to see how the Cougars keep the pressure on here in a second period against this Bengal team.
I'm not only curious, but it feels like the key, right? They need to put up more goals than this, even though Blaine is not a high-scoring team. Centennial doesn't want to play in a low-scoring game if they don't have to, and they have the capability to put goals in, or put pucks in the net. Here, Blaine carries in deep. Now a wrister, stick save, puts it out in front. Bengals still trying to put pressure on. Backhanded down the slot. This one tipped wide. And off the back wall, Centennial picks it up and plays it forward. Touching it out is Callie Cody. This one goes too long. Icing call.
To your point on that, wanting to stretch this out, we were talking before the game out in front of the truck about, well, the goals that the Bengals used to beat the Cougars in the second regular season matchup, they weren't exactly picture perfect, put them in a frame. You're going to remember those once they were just enough to get the job done. And that's the type of game you end up in if you keep it this close. You want to be able to put this stamp on this, so the Bengals really have to do some scoring to try and get back in it.
Bengals lose control here. Francis takes it away. Just had a goal. Here comes Summer Francis. Hands it back. Hammond with a shot. That one's shut down by Hanson. She covers up and holds on.
Whether it's the ice or the pitch, Summer Francis doesn't do anything slow. I mean, we've seen her in soccer. It's totally different skill set to do it on skates, but either way, she can get end to end in an eye blink. And that was a good look to try and distribute that. She didn't really have the angle for a shot with all that speed, and still was a good chance to distribute that back and maybe give Hammond a shot.
During your thoughts, Hanson made another save for the Bengals. Means the Cougars are continuing to put some pressure on. Blaine trying to work out of their zone. Not working out great. Now picking it up and pushing forward is Bouch. Grace Bouch. In behind the cage, stopped up, hands it off, taken cleanly by Anderle. Anderle back out to Bouch. Those two playing catch. Anderle tries to hand it back to Bouch. That eludes her and gets past the duo at the blue line. That'll sail all the way down to the other end, allowing teams to make some changes.
Parent, was hoping that they'd be able to turn that into attack. She was creeping down from the blue line.
Big chance. No, Bengals couldn't quite come up with that as clean as they wanted. Instead, Cougars force it the other direction. O'Hearn takes the shot. Goal! Ella O'Hearn with her second of the day. Noelle Hemmer was right there, but I believe that was O'Hearn who finished it herself.
Unless we have another hip check goal like we did in the first game here, this is going to be all O'Hearn. And she, no doubt, gets credit for taking it off the wall and putting it into harm's way. That was Hammer. I don't know that she was close enough to that. It looked closer.
I think it came on the near side post.
Yep.
Her near side, right?
Correct.
Yeah. No touch by Hammer on the play. Just a spectator with a front row seat to the Ella O'Hearn show. Her second of the day, her 9th of the season. Big game here in the semifinal for the sophomore. They do give Bouch an assist on the play. And Grace Torma as well, her 3rd of the season. Excuse me, Grace Torma was the lone. Got my 14s mixed up.
That'll happen. But depth of lines right there again. We saw it. We talked about the O'Hearn goal, and obviously 2 today, so she's earning it, but not having to rely on just the top line to get the scoring done, and that's going to bode well for the Cougars, not just tonight, but it was very thin, the margins between them being the 2 seed in this game versus the 3 and having to play earlier this week, and you're seeing it here head-to-head.
Blaine coming up ice, now trailing 3-0. Bengals into the offensive zone. Puck left behind, Bouch with a shot, got deflected by traffic, loose in front, goal! The follow-up score, and I think it's Singh. I can't see the jersey yet.
Be a good guess. She's always there.
No, it's not Singh. My mistake. That is Maddie Anderle with the score. And for Anderle, that is her 5th of the season. A much-needed goal for the Blaine Bengals.
She's had big goals at big times. She scored a game winner late in the regular season. Maybe missed the opportunity right there, but Bouch was right on it. Anderle never gave up and bangs it home off the pad. There's a rebound, right? Worked out for the Bengals here. They'd already given up a goal, but now back within 2. Francis!
They answer right back. How deflating if you're the Bengals to watch Summer Francis walk in and do that. Moments after Blaine finally got on the board, the Cougars keep the pressure on.
Well, the way they're celebrating, I don't think there was. We'll have to dissect this just a little bit to see maybe if there was a deflection. That was just such a sharp angle. But it was, yeah, let's try and seize that momentum right back. Look at this. Settles, flips, no help needed. Corner down for Summer Francis.
Beautiful play by Francis on a hard angle shot. It's a 4-1 Centennial game. Still announcing the Anderle goal. That's how little time passed between. It was about 10 or 15 seconds, I believe. Centennial turning the puck over right in front of their own net, now having some trouble getting on top of it. Lauren Farr tries to settle things down, carries behind her own net, looks to shovel it forward. Bengals still working out there. I mean, they're down by 3 goals, but they have not quit in any way. Singh into the offensive zone. By the way, she was on the back side of Anderle when she scored that goal. Would have been the only other player in the area.
And they're only separated by a digit.
Yep. Puck out towards neutral ice. And we go the other direction. Icing as that one pushed too far. Face-off coming back in front of Caitlin Gress.
Well, it seems like a Cougar team that learned their lesson from that last game against the Bengals, right? They, had a good early stretch in that. They had the early lead, scored the early goal, but didn't maybe press enough, and it was the Bengals that were dictating the pace of that. And you see it lately in that quick response goal, just pressuring from this Cougar team.
Puck played along the far side, poked around, now whipped down to the boards to the near side. Took a bad hop, nearly came right out in front of Hansen off the Zamboni door. The air shot that not all of it was connected on. So it went in slowly, and the Bengals quickly able to pick it up. Puck again pushed towards the front. Centennial trying to corral it. It's Ella O'Hearn. Hands it off. O'Hara takes it. She'll leave it back to the blue line. Shot from there. Stopped by Blaine easily. And now we get a whistle. Oh, excuse me, no whistle. This puck pops out of play. There's the whistle. Is that just a young woman shrieking in the stands? Who's so excited? It sounded just like a whistle to me. 12:17 to go in the second period. Think it was one of them?
I don't know. They've got the cotton candy flowing.
4-1 Cougars in front, and now a face-off inside the Blaine zone. O'Hara on the draw against Sandberg. Puck push to the near side corner. Nobody's got control of this. Bengals trying to fight it out of there. And O'Hara will send it right back in. Cougars dump it in again. Blaine has control. Trying to work it up ice. They've got options. Feed forward. Finds the open player. Skating into the offensive zone. Knocked off the puck is Fussy. Player goes down as the shot goes in. They'll have a face-off in the Centennial zone.
That's who they want to get it to, top of the zone. But the Cougars know that too. They were able to collapse on Braille Fussy. 7 goals scored as the top scorer on a team with not a lot of high-end totals. But they'll look to try and feed her when she's back out on the ice to find a way forward in this game.
Puck down to the near side. Picked up on the move by Lauren Parr. Parr breaks the blue line, cuts it towards the middle nicely, shovels the shot towards the net. Covered up by Hansen as Hammond was charging in for a rebound.
And she shoveled it up there, and that little second hop kind of cost the timing and maybe no rebound. If she could get that hard off the pads, she had Hammond flying right in there behind her, but the deflection.
Yeah, it was about the defense.
Yeah, a little bit easier for Hansen to cover up, if not make a save in general.
Blaine with control. The feed forward taken by Anderle. She'll break the blue line. Anderle to the backboard. Circles in behind as her team sets it up. This pass, not quite what they were looking for. Pokes the other way. And Francis speeding towards the puck. She'll win the race. Taken down from behind. A penalty called on the play for the trip.
It's incredible. It's the only thing that can slow her down is getting tripped. I mean, that puck, so many times you might see other players have to give up on that and say, well, that might end up being an icing. Not Summer Francis, slowed down enough off the board. She gets there and clearly taken down.
So Francis, who has 2 goals tonight, is ridden to the ice. Well, that puts Jansen in the penalty box. Team's leader in, now tied for the team lead in penalty minutes with that latest infraction. O'Hara towards the front of the net. Here a shot, second shot, goal! It's O'Hara who finishes it off. She brought it in to hand it off right to a teammate to give her the open net. Instead it's tipped back and she does the job herself.
Well, she almost deserved it. The way she walked this in was so nice. And yeah, it would have been nice as an assist too if the teammates convert. But instead, you said it, trickled back to her. Look at that move, swipes it, puts it through the 5-hole on a defender. Cody can't convert, but does enough to deflect in front of the crease. And O'Hara always eyes up.
I mean, she's going down as she puts this in. And, you know, it reminds me a lot of the first O'Hearn goal because it's just a touch, right? It's not like this wicked wrister or big slap shot. O'Hearn towards the net, shovels it towards second shot. They keep poking at it, and Hansen sits down on it. No goal was scored during that flurry. And we got a little shoving after the fact. Parent has to go to the penalty box to sit for 2.
It's an avalanche of red and black here. They just continue to keep pressuring. That's how O'Hara gets that last goal. Here's O'Hearn flipping it ahead, hoping for the rebound. They continue hacking at it until the whistles tell them otherwise. Where's Parent? She's the one that ended up over the top there.
Yeah, I don't think it was Parent they wanted to call for that penalty. I think it was the player next to her. It looked like Tess Enlow.
Right there.
Speaking of players who lead the team in penalty minutes, that's Tess Enlow. But she wasn't called for at that time. It was Parent who takes the fall for that.
Fall for the Morgan O'Hearn fall.
The air puck played up high. Bengals do get the next touch, so we'll play on. Centennial trying to secure in the zone. O'Hara up to the blue line. Wrister from there comes in. O'Hara nearly with a rebound try, and Blaine clears it out. And a roughing call. 90 seconds left on the power play for the Cougars. Putting on the brakes was Hannah Thompson. Now played ahead to O'Hara. O'Hara into the offensive zone. Gets around a defender, tries a backhander, that goes wide. Bengals pick it up on the move thanks to Caitlin Rahm. Moving it forward, picked up once more by the Cougars. Sent towards the net by the star from the last game for the Cougars, Callie Cody. And we get a whistle. Hand pass? Yeah, we're going to take the faceoff outside the zone.
She scored, which obviously, you know, flashes in front of you, and not just Summer Francis, but I've been impressed with just the way the last few games we've seen Lauren O'Hara skate. I mean, yes, you get the flashy numbers with the 23 goals for Megan Gaudreau, and she's very good too, but the size that O'Hara brings out there, the way she kind of floats around in the zone and can do a lot with that stick work, very impressive player with each passing game.
I have not seen a game where O'Hara is not the biggest player on the ice this season. And these Centennial matchups.
Yeah, and doesn't lose anything with the speed
Absolutely
and the agility skating around.
That's why hockey coaches have to get them young, because if she grows into that height and then discovers sports, she's on the hardwood. Instead, she is really helping out this Centennial hockey team.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
9-1-1, 9-11 remaining here in the second period. 5-1 score, and it feels like an emergency for the Blaine Bengals because they are in a hole and time is running out.
And the hole just got bigger.
Right off the face-off, shot and score, Megan Goudreau.
She heard me praising another player on her line and hunting another, and just gets the backhand popping out there in front. And yeah, we said it, asking for the Cougars to come out and score goals to be able to get this win against a good Bengal defense. Obviously hasn't worked out for them here in the second period, but just constant pressure right off the face-off.
Timeout taken by the Blaine Bengals. We talked just before the game started, we reminded you how the season series went. Each team winning a game, but both were low scoring. A 3-1 Blaine win and a 2-0 Centennial win. This is Centennial hockey. They are imposing their will here in the postseason on these Bengals, and leading by 5 goals about midway through this game.
Yeah, it's been super impressive to watch. Just, I think it's done the Bengals almost a disservice here in the postseason. Not to say that they got that win necessarily head-to-head, but that it came so in such close proximity, right, to this rematch. The Cougars saw what happened to them on their own ice, didn't want that to happen again, and they have been the aggressive team for first-year head coach Mullen, and it has been something to watch. He's got the skaters to do it, and the results have followed here, which make it look all the better. And oh yeah, they're continuing to defend through that pressure offense, right? They're keeping the puck out of their own zone. For the most part, they're keeping Gress clean of too many shots. They've given up just 10 in this game so far. It's been an impressive performance. And now for the Bengals, yeah, you've still got 26 minutes to go here. What can you do with that? And that's kind of what this timeout is for Coach Guider. What do you want to do here as the Avalanche just continues to pile on top of you here for the Cougars?
Bengals need another team to play. Here we go. Centennial takes to the ice finally after that Bengal timeout wrapped up. Gress back into her cage. We're set for the center ice face-off off the latest Cougar goal scored by Megan Goudreau. Her team leading 24th score of the season. Puck brought into the offensive zone by Blaine. Cougars poking it away. Thompson got a stick on it for a moment. Now it's picked up behind the net. Bengals recover, trying to feed it out to Fussy. She can't get to it. Now scooped up. Fussy does have clean control. Gives off to Jansen. Her charge knocked away by the defense. Thompson grabs it. She and Morgan O'Hearn have been putting the pressure on. Ella O'Hearn controls. Surveys her options. To bounce it ahead. Did that get into some of the players on the bench?
Not those options right now. Tried to include other non-line mates. So we've covered the Cougars several times this year and last year too. We've had a couple of O'Hearns on the team. I just now noticed that the younger O'Hearn, Ella, was the only one of the two with the first initial on the back of the sweater. Morgan's older, so I guess she's had it as just O'Hearn long enough. And so Ella's the one who has to differentiate. There's no M O'Hearn, there's just an E.
That's actually harder to notice, folks, than you would think, because Morgan O'Hearn has like the widest, most spreading ponytail. So I can never see the back of her jersey, and yet you were able to pick that out. Singh over to the far side. Now a wrister towards the middle, intercepted by Francis. Tries a headman pass, and that one out of the reach of the head woman she was looking for.
By the way, I mean, take people behind the curtain, at least how I look at it, when we get Centennial, and both the boys and girls teams have the names on the back of the uniform, ponytail notwithstanding. Gotta love it. I mean, it increases the chance of me knowing who's who right away 20-fold. Yes.
Off the draw, played back to the blue line. Big blast stopped by skates in front. Thanks to a Centennial defender held into the blue line by the Bengals. They try again. No shots get in towards the tender, and it's carried out of the zone by O'Hara. O'Hara just weaving around defenders, leaves one with a stick on the ice. Here a pass to the front. O'Hara got to the front of the net, and the shot went into the pads. Save made by Hansen.
Don't you feel like she was there just a shade too early, right? I mean, it came, the puck came, O'Hara was there, and Hansen was able to be there. Needed a little bit of time in between.
O'Hara still skating. She'll charge again. This time she's looking to get off, though. She'll just dump that in and change.
Just a sophomore. Get to see a lot more of O'Hara skating around, and that's...
I mean, there's a lot of youth on this Centennial team. And so, while, you know, it seemed like Maple Grove's year this year, here, Hemmer into the offensive zone. She'll take the shot. Glove save made. But a nice try by the freshman on the attack for the Cougars. Yeah, like, it might seem like Maple Grove's year, but this is close to a reload, not a rebuild for Centennial. They're still the 3 seed. They are looking like they're going to be the team in the finals with Maple Grove. So anything can happen in that game, but most of these players have gotten some valuable experience, shown some real talent, and could be ready for a big, big push next year.
And that's without even seeing what some of the 9th graders listed on the roster that are playing mostly JV. What kind of leap do they make? You've got enough sophomores who are impact players on this Cougar team this year. Wants to say there's not more of those waiting in the wings. But I mean, it's been a transitionary period, right? You had a couple of the best all time to do it, not just for the Cougars, but in girls hockey in this area in recent memory, running to the state tournament in those years with Gabby Hughes and Annika Linzer, and those teams had that top end. But the seniors that have helped bridge the gap, looking at Summer Francis, looking at Lauren Parr, they've done such a great job to keep this program at the level where once the youth came around, they could reload and be right back here.
O'Hearn in the middle, gave it off to Hemmer, stolen away by the Bengals. 6:12 remaining in this second period. Quick on the puck is Bouch. Handing it off to Anderle up to the blue line. Back to Anderle, trying to feed the middle, poked away by Francis. Francis has O'Hearn with her. Francis takes the shot, that one wide, bounces hard out. Bengals do a good job to collect it and hold it. Nowicki up to the far side, sends it forward. This one out of the reach of everyone. Icing is waved off, though. We play on.
Clearly it's colored by the fact they're up 6-1, but we saw them win.
Here, a shot and a save.
We just saw them win on Tuesday as well, but I mean, these Cougars, it's so fun to watch. We already talked about O'Hara. Summer Francis just straight picks the pocket of a Bengal there in the zone, takes it end to end, and almost finishes, just going wide. I mean, they are locked in right now, and if they can finish this off, nothing crazy happens in the third period. Maple Grove's going to have their hands full with a very confident Cougar team in the championship game.
We saw the Cougars with a 4-goal first period on Tuesday. Tonight they've got a 4-goal so far second period. And I'll tell you, if they find a 4-goal third period against Maple Grove in the championship, I like their chances. Here's a shot. That one off the post. Rebound. Goal! It's poked in to finish it, so give the credit to Shelby Sandberg. The sophomore collapses. Now, maybe the arm came down a little earlier than that, saying that it was in, but I thought it was off the post and still in the crease.
Yeah, it was settling in there, and so Gress was whipping wildly around to try and find that. And that's where I think the Sandberg credit is going to come. But either way, just a much-needed score for the Bengals. You see some determination there on that side.
You see the wrister. It gets through the goaltender. It hits the post and was sitting there, and Sandberg had to finish it off.
She hacked at it.
Guys at the scorer's table agree with us. It's always good when we're on the same page. So Blaine back on the board, and maybe they still have some life left. They were down by 5 goals. They at least give themselves a little breathing room from running time, which I think they still do in the postseason, if I'm not mistaken. Puck pushed forward. Blaine making moves, headed towards the goal. Shot, goal! What an individual effort! It's Anderle with her second of the game. And this one for the highlight reel. Anderle doing the job herself.
That's huge. They called that timeout after the Bengals went up by 5. There's still a whole other period to play, and now all of a sudden they've made it much more manageable, scoring a 3-goal period. If they don't get anything else in the 4:28 left, yeah, you can do that. And so big credit to these Bengals for not just packing it in, you said it, individual effort, taking it away from Elliott, walking right down the slot and beating Gress. Now, how do the Cougars respond? I don't think they've really let up at all, John. I think just turnovers, and the Bengals have just kind of stepped down on the pedal and finished.
I think the Bengals have turned up the temperature. That's what's changed here. Shot and a save made by Gress.
trying to get their fans up too. They're not done. A lot can change here because 6-1 is tough to come back from. You even give up one other goal and all of a sudden all the work kind of pushes you back down the hill like Sisyphus there. But I mean, you got 2 back right now. If you hold it right here, you do have a penalty on the Cougars that's going to help. What a time would this be for a power play goal that hasn't been their strength all year long?
It would be massive. Here, a shot. That one chopped down in front. Rebound, poked away. They did give Singh an assist on the Anderley goal. Jansen, her wrister, bounces to the near side boards. Cruising in on it, Ron. Played behind the net, Cougars come up with it.
And again, I can't stress enough, I don't think the Cougars are really making mistakes all of a sudden or letting up on the pressure. The Bengals turned it up, and they've gotten a couple of creases that they've been able to turn in their favor.
Oh, almost had a break chance here. Instead, they'll come in a little slower. This shot, Singh can't collect the rebound on the backside. Here, a blast from the blue line, knocked down by the defenders and tipped out of the zone. Minute 05 left on the roughing call against Flash. And here, pocket pick, Goudreau to the net, dangle, goal! Oh my! A shorthanded score for the Cougars, and that's the kind of answer that they were looking for.
Wow, a big-time player stepping up and making a big-time play when things were almost getting back out of hand in favor of the Bengals. The defense to the offense, the extra dangle to finish too, because Hansen had her stopped initially, even on the break.
And Hansen reacted decently too, to be honest. She got back over, she was sliding, kicking, and Goudreau with the reach to twist it around her. Second goal of the game for Goudreau. Team leading 25th of the season.
Do you think back and forth this is the best 3 minutes of hockey we've seen all night?
Here, a shot and a save made. We've had 2 games. We watched earlier tonight as Blaine survived an initial tough test from Osseo and went on to win handily. Here in this game, the Cougars felt like they had taken complete control. Blaine starts the battle back. Centennial answers. Yeah, we are in the thick of some really good hockey here in the second period. Not so much if you're a goaltender. Not the best period for the 2 ladies between the pipes. Jansen with a shot. That one deflects off a leg in front, and then it's knocked out of there. Bengals still have an opportunity to take advantage of this power play. They'll push in, 30 seconds left on the skater advantage. All the way around. Shot attempt there by Sandberg, knocked down. Ella O'Hearn out of the zone. Trying to go around the defense. Does with 2 defenders. Takes the shot. Misses wide, and that might have only been because a Blaine player dropped their stick and it got in her way.
That made it a tougher angle, and she just goes wide.
It would have been a hat trick for her. There are 3 players for the Cougars. 1 goal away from a hat trick. The power play expires. Quick shot here. Save made. Loose in front, and it kicks to the side. 2 minutes left in the period. Cougars thought they had a shot at that. On her horse that time was Callie Cody, but she couldn't catch up. Cody, and you and I are not the greatest of hockey minds, right? No. Not the greatest talent. We've seen Callie Cody do some really fun things, and I get the impression that what we see is the top end, and the young lady has a lot to learn on maybe some of the other parts of the game. That's why we don't see her on the ice constantly, or with maybe the top line all the time, but she's out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you can tell the raw materials are there to be a player who, again, just a sophomore. You might have a little more experience if you're a sophomore goaltender. Sometimes they'll play a little early.
Here she comes. This is what we're looking for. Callie Cody towards the net. Shot. Goal! Banks it in off the post, just using the angle to her advantage. It's an 8-3 Cougar lead.
Well, we may be seeing it, John, here in the postseason with the success breeding the confidence, and now Callie Cody can turn that around for the rest of the career, because whether it's a work in progress or a work coming to fruition, she's had a big 2 games in the quarterfinals, and now the semis getting a big goal as the Cougars answer not once but twice to go back up by 5.
Cody entered the postseason with 1 goal. She has 3 goals in less than 2 games of playoff action. Remember when it was a 2-goal game at the end of the first? We've scored 9 goals between the two teams in this period. Still have 1:15 left as the icing will bring us back down to the Centennial end.
Yeah, the Cougars, they took a body blow from the Bengals, certainly, and give the Bengals credit for being able to stand up and deliver that back-to-back with those 2 goals that made it 6-3. This Cougar team didn't change the approach at all. They've come back with pressure and the goal-scoring ability that we've seen.
Here, a shot deflects off the glove, in goal! Jansen from the blue line, and they just keep coming. 1:11 remaining in this second period. 8-4, Bengals back within 4. And I'm glad that you saved your voice from the last game because I needed you on a couple goal calls here in the second period. There's too many for me.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of, especially when they're coming as fast, flying in. This is just, well, we got to send one netward, and tough one for Caitlin Grass. One that she's made in this game and would love to have back. But her team has still spotted her with the 8 goals and the 4-goal lead as O'Hearn comes in.
This one taken away by the Bengals for Jansen, her 6th goal of the season. Nice score by the sophomore from the blue line blast. Cougars trying to hold the zone. Blaine carries out. This is Sandberg into the offensive zone. She has it taken off her stick by Torma. Torma behind the net, plays it forward. Morgan O'Hearn can't get clean control. Hey, there is no M on that. Here, puck played forward by Blaine. 35 seconds left. Outscores neutral ice. Blaine trying to take it right back in. Had to wait for Singh to touch up. Played forward on the near side. This is Anderley cutting towards the middle. Hands it off for Bouch. Bouch trying to get around one defender. Has help coming in from the bench. Now puck out to the blue line. This wrister knocked away on the try by Parent. It bounces out to neutral. 10 seconds left as Blaine tries to move it forward. Hemmer putting some pressure on. Puck behind the net. And time will tick down to wrap up this second period. A 10-goal second period between the two teams. The Cougars led by as many as 5 goals. They take a 4-goal advantage into the break. It's a wild second period. Leaves us at 8-4. Cougars in front of the Bengals. Sean Haddon, J.W. Cox, back with you. Can we recap it all? Well, I
believe in you.
We got to get set for the start of the third. Let's walk you through it. Ella O'Hearn already had a goal when it was 2-0 to start the period. She starts the second with that score to make it 3-0. Then Blaine makes it look like we've got a contest off the rebound. Anderley with the goal. Here comes Summer Francis. Francis putting it up in the corner for a score. Nicely done by her. O'Hara walking it in, hands it off. This shot put in by O'Hara. 5-1 at that point. Blaine trying to get back into it, charging in for the follow-up score is Sandberg in front. Then Goudreau picking pockets, putting up scores. That goal for her, the first of 2 in the period. Score there by Callie Cody. Blaine gets 1 at the end thanks to Jansen pushing it through the glove. We missed 1 or 2 along the way there, but suffice to say it was a 10-goal period, and the Cougars lead 8-4 as we get set for the start of the third. And I have no idea what to expect in this period.
No, very little idea of what you could see, but I mean, there's a lot of credit to go around for both of these teams. Obviously, the bulk of it has to go to the Cougars for the fact that they built the lead in the first place and the way they did it. I'm very impressed, though, by the Bengals. And easily a game still with 6 minutes to go in the second that they could have packed in down 6-1 and said, oh, this is too high of a mountain to climb. Well, they took a couple steps up it and showed that they've got some fight. Problem is, on the other side, the Cougars swung right back and were able to finish off a couple of good goals. So I think we've still got a game. We've seen 4-goal periods before. We just saw 10 combined in the last one. Buckle up. Here we go.
Blaine scored more than 4 goals in a game once this season. That was against Osseo Park Center. Here's Centennial breaking in. Feed to the middle for Goudreau. Never got to her. Goudreau now has control. Hands it off to O'Hara. She'll push it towards the net. Not too much strength behind that. It's pushed away easily by Hansen.
If they would have connected on that first one, O'Hara to Goudreau, I mean, you could have locked it up at that point. They were just getting whatever they wanted, and the pass was just a little bit shy of the heel of the stick of Goudreau.
Puck brought forward by Abby Elliott. By the way, the most goals allowed by Blaine all season, 9. So they're right on the heels of both of those numbers. Who would have thought? Went out on a limb there. Here's Centennial trying to play it forward. For the Cougars, they had a 10-goal game this season, so they're tracking towards their highest mark of the year. Looking to make something happen with it is Nikki Hammond. She plays it forward, gets knocked down to the ice, and it's wristed out to neutral ice. I almost said middle ice, like we're in Middle Earth or the Middle East. I don't know.
I think that's what they call it in the UK, middle
or
ice.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Here, puck played along the far side boards. Cougars have it poked away, and Blaine dumps it into the zone. Icing, as that one came from a little too far out.
Isn't that one of the things, languages notwithstanding, but for the most part in sports, you call the same things the same things. Like across cultures, there's so many different words for things like elevators or cars or whatever. But
you mean
sports,
like lifts and autos?
Like what?
Lifts and autos?
Oh, yeah, exactly, right. Lifts and autos. It's, sports can be the equalizer there.
Here, puck poked away and taken head first by Brielle Funcy. She's into the zone hard. Puck knocked away from her. Follower goes a blast. And that goes off his shin and bounces out to neutral ice. What's fun is how loud it is in here.
Yeah.
The benches are into this game like they're softball teams right now. They cannot be stopped.
Yeah, there was such a surge of energy after the Cougars had kind of sucked the energy out of it by going up 6-1. And then the Bengals got their second goal in that period. And it was all of a sudden, all right, Katie barred the door. Here we come. This is a game that's all of a sudden full of energy.
Goudreau pushing in. We'll leave it out to the blue line. Rough pass, and that eludes her teammate at the top. We'll go to the other end. 14:40 remaining here in the third period. Blaine chops that down to hold the zone. Nicely done by Anderle. Looking for her third goal of the day. She pushes to the backboards. Now O'Hara comes in trying to take over. Seeing a player who might be able to body up a little bit with O'Hara when you see them matched up. Here a shot goes wide and down to the near side. Here, wrister from the blue line, and that attempt by Peyton Parent moved aside. Goudreau on the attack. Tries an early wrister. Glove save by Hansen. She'll drop it. Handing off to Parent. Pass forward, deflects away. Now comes to the near side boards. Cougars have it. Charging in is Grace Torma. She'll dump it into the zone. Hansen stops it behind her own net. Tries to leave it out. Stolen away. Here, quick shot and a save made. Hansen gloves that attempt by Nikki Hammond.
Still, obviously, quite a bit of pace to this one. You mentioned it, both goaltenders, periods to forget there in the second. And it'll be interesting to see what the adjustment is for them here.
Oh, that is the second time that the Cougars have let one bleed away out at the blue line. And it's a combination of the pass and the player at the blue line. It's not just all one person's fault.
And it's not like it's some egregious error that you never see, but you almost never see it from this team. The
Correct.
way they pass, they're usually more efficient on things like that.
Summer Francis on the attack. She's got help, takes the shot high to get the rebound, then it bounces behind the net. Bengals tie up the Cougars and take the puck into the offensive zone. This is Jansen. She's got one today. It's going to be hard to find players that don't have goals if we keep up with the pace we had in the second period. Puck down to the near side boards. Morgan O'Hearn battling against Caitlin Ron. Morgan O'Hearn carrying into the offensive end, not being stopped really. Slowed but not stopped. Tries a hard angle shot taken away by the Bengals. They'll give it back to O'Hearn. Picks up on the half wall. Gently leaves that out to the blue line where it's held in nicely. Again, good feed to the blue line. Here, shot up close, and that one got into the pads of the tender, able to make the stop.
Elle O'Hearn had ducked a little bit too close to the goal line there to be in a position for that rebound as it came off wide to the near side.
Dumped in. Here's Elle O'Hearn into the corner. She gets rubbed off the puck Puck pops into the air. O'Hara knocks it down. Everyone's pushed up against the glass. Hemmer loses an edge. Puck poked out of the zone. New power back on it. She'll dump it in. And Centennial makes some changes.
I'm going to give Hemmer a big-time pass there because in this game, late in the second and here early in the third, she's taken 2 shots right to the knee-shin area that she has blocked without question and without batting an eye. But things are going to slow down, you would think, at some point for these teams. They've been giving it their all here for 2 full periods. So you might see those instances from time to time.
Callie Cody out there with with O'Hara and Goudreau as they set up for the draw inside the Blaine zone. One back by the Bengals. They'll take it behind their own net. Looking for an opportunity to move the puck forward. Caitlin Ron. And it is moved out to neutral. O'Hara dumps it back in. Puck held in at the blue line for the moment. Bengals haven't been able to clear it out, but they're disrupting what Centennial wants to do offensively. Goudreau absolutely dropped to the ice. This puck bouncing, new power, can't quite hold it in, and Cody has to chase it back. Hands off to Elliott. Quick pass forward for Francis. That bounced through everyone, it looked like, and icing is the call. 11-10 remaining in this third period. We have no goals this period. It feels weird after the second.
What a shock. Almost 6 minutes in, trying to hit Francis there, and like you said, it just hopped up and missed everyone. Time, obviously, the ally of the Cougars here, just trying to wind it down here. 8 should be enough, you would think, but I've been very impressed with the continued fight of the Bengals despite the long odds here throughout this game.
Flashing back on the puck. Sends it across. That one took that hard bounce and comes out to the front. Shot on, save made. And it's pushed out of there. Those Zamboni doors have been dangerous throughout the course of this evening. Jansen back on the puck, battling hard against Flashin. Now a centering pass right to the front where the Bengals pick it up and walk ahead. They touch it out to neutral. Got into the Bengal bench, and that draws a whistle. Woo. The pace of this game has been a delay. I mean, the goals make it feel...
put it over the top.
Yeah, put it over the top. But I think the way that these teams are skating, this has not felt like a slow game at any point.
Yeah, super impressed on both sides with a lot of things. Obviously, the Cougars jumping on the Bengals for those goals just kind of paint the picture of where we are in this one. But these are 2 teams that are coming to play here in playoff hockey, semifinal hockey in a very good section.
You would hope so with the season on the line in this semifinal. Bengals won't quit. Try to carry it in. Good individual effort that time by Caitlin Ron.
Didn't I say off the start it's my favorite of the cat clashes? I mean, I didn't commit to that, but I hinted
you said
at
it was up there.
It was up there. This isn't doing anything to dampen that.
Cougars leave it out to the blue line. Here, I think one of the interesting things is that you and I wouldn't consider ourselves to be hockey guys early on in our lives, our careers, our fandom, whatever it is. But this conference between the boys and the girls has really helped that along for both of us.
Yeah, because most often than not, even though this is a 4-goal game, so let's call a spade, it's a little lopsided right now, but it's been a good game, and more often than not, when we show up and it's these 2 schools, these 2 teams, or for the better part of the Northwest Suburban Conference in the top-end matchups, and when you get late in the section.
Here, a shot and an early save made, or maybe they didn't even get in to grass, but it got stopped out in front by the defense. This wrister sails wide.
Finish that thought. You're just almost guaranteed an entertaining game, certainly when you get to this semifinal level for boys or girls.
Glove save made by Grass to stop play with just under 90 minutes to go in the third period. The individual talents we've seen, the way that the teams play together, the competitive level, and knowing that, year in, year out, these programs are some of the best in the state. These teams are regularly ranked in the top 10, whether it's boys or girls, and that's exciting to watch. Cougars push into the offensive zone. Here a shot save made. Rebound. Now it's loose in front. Goudreau couldn't get a stick on it late. Jansen carries out of the zone. Jansen not stopping. Heads in offensively. Gets to the backboards. She gets help. Anderley leaves it out to the blue line for Singh. Singh across. Wrister by Parent. That deflects off of traffic in front. Singh holds the zone. Dumps it behind. Pushed up against the boards is Jansen. Jansen had the late goal in the second period. Pulled out of there by Newpower. Her touch forward for Goudreau. Now Singh loads up and tries a blast that goes wide. O'Hara has control. Can they get it up to Goudreau? Not quite, but it deflected off of Blaine. The Cougars will change things up.
I gave credit in that second period to some of these upper-class skaters for the Cougars who have kind of bridged the gap between some eras with great players. These Bengal seniors have done some of the same.
Absolutely. Here's Sandberg. She's got a goal today. Skating in strong, comes up behind the net. Now leaves it to the blue line. Shot bounces in. Singh chasing into the corner. She's been out there a little while. Looks gassed. Puck up to the blue line. Bouncing puck. Now it's right in front. 3 Bengals. Shot and a save made. Almost an embarrassment of riches with the attackers that the Bengals had. And in the end, they get nothing thanks to the efforts of Caitlin Gress.
3 on the doorstep, and Gress kept her head on a swivel on all 3 of them.
Cougars collect in their own zone. Picking it up off the boards is Torma. He gives it off to Abby Elliott. Now to the far side and held in the zone for the moment. Feed to the middle. Bengals get a hold of it and try to dump it behind the net. Centering pass again. Now the shot goes high and wide and is just barely held in the zone. What an effort there. Cougars get it out anyway, but credit to Tess Enlow on that last play. O'Hearn dangling her way towards the net. Gets a shot away. Hansen shuffles it to the side. Bengals move it out of the zone. O'Hearn back on it again. She'll gain control herself, send it forward, and takes the pass back. Maybe too many passes? Well, they'll get into the zone for the moment at least. Bengals disrupting things here. 6:12 remaining in the third period. No goals in this period means Cougars continue to lead by 4. Bengals ahead to Jansen. Quick pass forward. O'Hara tries to intercept it. Coming away with a clean is Waller. Into the offensive zone. She'll fight for it in the corner. O'Hearn tries to give to O'Hara. Puck chopped back into the Cougar zone. Flashing across. Thompson makes a move around one player. Pokes ahead of another and looking for support. Hemmer couldn't get clean control. Goudreau now has it and has a lane. She'll head into the offensive end. Takes an early shot. Blockers save. Punches it to the corner. Nice work by Hansen to clear it away. Bengals have a player ahead. Can't get the shot away. Now it's sent down to the near side. By the way, Centennial boys win tonight 9-1. So tight one over there at the warming house. I'm going to make that work. 5:10 remaining here in the third period of this game. Cougars have it. Coming in is Callie Cody. Has Francis in the middle. Trying to leave it back for her as Francis is chasing the hat trick tonight.
So that means we'll officially have Bengal boys, Cougar boys as a matchup, correct?
The old cat clash.
Another cat clash. And on that day, I'll call that one my favorite.
Hammond passes it out ahead, finds Lauren Parr. Parr and Hammond trying to move it through neutral. Bengals causing some problems. Davidson off the bench to help out as Blaine gets into the zone. They are offsides. You've got to go back to the game against Armstrong Cooper for the Cougars. The last time they had a player with a hat trick, Goudreau did it, and she did it the game before with 5 goals. It's only been 3 hat tricks this season, and they've all been for Goudreau. She's on the doorstep of another tonight, but she's not alone for these Cougars. We just haven't had any goals in this third period.
That's mighty fine for the Cougars. They don't mind that it just keeps rolling along. They didn't need that drama. bounced back well from it in that second period.
Bengals center a pass. Cougars have clean control out to the far side. Davidson skating through neutral. Gets a shot away, and a glove save made. So again, they've gone a little deeper in to their benches, and the Cougars asking the junior Paige Davidson to do some work, and she's working. She's working physically to take players out, and she's getting some scoring chances as time goes on. Puck played into the near side corner. Moved to the middle, and it's sent out to the blue line. Held in there. Davidson now dumps it into the corner. Who else we got up there? Alyssa Schumacher, the senior, seeing ice time here in the third period. Bengals with a 3-on-1 developing. Take the shot. Gress gives them nothing. No goal, no rebound. She clamps it with under 3.5 to play.
Now, this is not the way that these Bengals seniors were hoping this year would close. Brielle Fussy had some big goals throughout the season, and it was just some tough scoring for her down the stretch. We talked about Peyton Parent, everything she means to this team defensively. But again, they bridged the gap from some great players and kept this program in competition every single year here in Section 5 2A.
Bengals create a turnover, send a shot wide. Thompson back on it for the Cougars. Trying to carry out against this pair of defenders. Does so nicely up ahead to the sophomore Hemmer. She's got Ella O'Hearn. Hemmer coming in, gets taken down, no arms in the air. Incidental, they say, and we play on. 3 minutes to go as the Bengals pick it up in the far corner.
You can almost look at this, both of these rosters, and see kind of some of the same patterns of some sophomores, certainly some juniors that will come back, but players that will be back from these rosters that, again, it's a section that Maple Grove looks to put a stranglehold on this year, and time will tell what the Cougars can do against them in the championship. But players coming back for the Bengals and Cougars, and a full season perhaps next year might be what elevates these two to even higher heights again come 2021-2022.
Goudreau ahead to O'Hara. This feed forward, just knocked away from Cody. Jumped ahead by Flashin. Goudreau holds the zone. They'll get up close and personal with the official at the half wall. And now the Bengals carry out of the zone. Bouch tries to wrist her. That gets knocked down, and that leads to it offsides because some Bengals were ahead before the dump attempt could get pushed into the offensive zone. What a game for the Cougars tonight. A lot to be excited about. A little concerned about giving up 4 goals to a team that isn't an offensive power. But I think overall, if you're Centennial, you head into that matchup against Maple Grove feeling about as good as you can.
Yeah, and maybe even though we didn't necessarily, or me, just speak for me, necessarily didn't detect much of a change when the Bengals scored those 2 goals. I'm sure the coaches will be on it and try and have them watching out for that potential letdown if they get the opportunity to be up big like that on Maple Grove.
The air shot comes in, rebound, sitting in front, backhander try, goal! The Bengals get another one from Shelby Sandberg, her second of the day, and they pull it to a 3-goal game with 1:49 remaining.
Now, Sandberg was the one that helped pull them back closer in the second period initially. And the Bengals were putting pucks on the net all period. And finally, Sandberg, after having a couple of hacks at it that really didn't generate much, spins around, and the backhand was right there for her. Little too late here.
Sure.
For the Bengals, but 2 for Sandberg. A way to close out her sophomore season in the postseason.
Schumacher dumps it into the offensive zone. Sophie Clausen gives chase. Now it's pushed out the other way. Brielle Fussy moving it forward. Charging in against Flashin. Fussy hands it back to the blue line. Pushed down into the corner. Sandberg centers, and nobody's home. It comes all the way out. 1:10 remaining. You know, the Bengals got a quick one there. You could see maybe it's time to pull the goalie and hope to get 2 more quick goals. But at 3 goals, I don't know that Hansen comes out. Now the puck ends up back by her, less than a minute to go.
Yeah, that response for the Cougars there that capped off a crazy second period was so huge. We were talking about it. Down 5. You cut that all of a sudden to 3 going to the third period. Then you score 1, and you start looking at that.
O'Hara ahead to Goudreau. She tips it into the offensive zone. 35 seconds remaining in this game. Puck out to the blue line, carries to neutral.
The Cougars help put those thoughts away with those late goals and big answers in the second, and are going to finish off this semifinal win.
Maya Anderson into the offensive zone, takes the shot, and the save made by Gress. Under 20 seconds to play here in the third. So again, a date with Maple Grove coming up on the boys' side. We know that Centennial and Blaine are alive, so they'll play in the semifinals. Off the draw, taken around the boards to the far side. Bengals trying to hold it in. Sandberg gets a backhander away. Sophomore looking for her 3rd of the game. Instead, this is taken by Morgan O'Hara behind the net. She can just hold it up there against the boards, and the clock ticks down. Centennial rises to the occasion here in the semifinals. They defeat the Bengals 8-5. Several players with 2 goals, and now they move on to play the Maple Grove Crimson in the Section 5 2A championship.
A lot of what they did here tonight will put them in good stead against Maple Grove, and that should be a whale of a game.
We'll look forward to that. We thank you for joining us tonight. For our entire North Metro TV crew, including my broadcast partner, J.W. Cox, I'm John Haddon saying so long from Fogarty Arena, where the Cougars win 8-5.